Greetings, YouTubers. I'm on the slope on the starboard side of the trailer here. Gotten the frame mounted. Same bolt system that I used on the other side. Still thinking about how to secure this up. I mean, there's not a lot of material in here, but I don't know, it might be strong enough. I might just reinforce it with metal and go with it. It's a little more cumbersome to lower the pod, but it has the advantage of already being done, minus a little bit of reinforcement. Right now I've started working on the roof here to get my solar panels up. So I'm going to put blocks on. I can't tell if that's in focus or not. I don't think that it is. Sorry, I can't use both hands. I'm using myself to suspend over this gap here. So I'm going to put blocks at every one of these reinforcing bars that goes across the roof. So inside there's a 1 by 1 1/4 rectangular tube that runs all the way across the roof. It's slightly rolled. It's got a little bit of an arch to it, and then there's some shims in the center that kind of give a little bit of lift to the center of the roof so that it sheds water off to the sides. And I'm going to facilitate that water being shed. Wow, that sun is just really bleaching these out. Here, let me see if I can change ISO here. Stand by. Okay, that's a little better. So I'm going to mount these blocks here so as not to run a stringer all the way across this. Like, I don't know if you can see that 2x4 over there. I'm not going to do that because that would keep water from spilling off of this side here, which is why there's an arch in the middle. So I'm going to put blocks. These are 3.5 by 3.5 by 1.5. That's basically a slice of a 2x4. And I'm going to put 4 of them along the length here, and I have put Lexel. This is the caulking I've been using. It's being marketed as the duct tape of caulking. So far I've been pretty impressed with it. It's about the consistency of silicone seal. It smells different. It's obviously a different chemistry. It dries a little bit harder than silicone seal. So far I've been really happy with it. It sticks to just about everything, just like it says. So that's underneath this block, all the way around, and then on the underside of these bolt holes, and then I'm going to seal the tops of these as well. This block is going to get covered with a 2x4 that's going to run across the length to another block that's going to be over there. And I've drilled and countersunk these holes. Note the grain is going from left to right instead of towards me and away from me. If I'd have put 2 bolts through a piece of grain there, I probably would have split this block. So by doing it this way, that helps reduce the occurrence of splitting. That would be a bad thing. After I get done with this, I've got some roof sealant that's going to go around this block. So I'm going to goop these up really good, and I'm confident that they're going to be watertight. So, and then I may use something up here to anchor here with a turnbuckle or something from there to here. These are blocks for the other side, so this would be a span from here that I might be able to put a turnbuckle in. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there, I guess. So that's what I've done so far today. Hey, greetings, YouTubers. So got 8 blocks cut, sealed, and lag bolted or sheet metal screwed into the roof supports that are directly underneath these 2x4s. You can see each one of these screws represents a 1 by 1 1/4 inch rectangular tube. So I've put a bunch of sealant on here, and then countersunk this and sheet metal screwed it to the cross members, and then used the Gorilla Glue to put this down, you can see it's already starting to expand on this. The stuff is really messy, but I gotta tell you, man, that stuff holds like nothing I've never seen. So I cut it off. It's easy to cut off with a razor blade after you get done, and then I paint over it and you can't even tell that it's there. Well, I guess you can tell, but it doesn't look that bad. And I'm really going for function over form at this point. So I've got these cut. I've run out of wood, so I've got to get some more wood tomorrow. Today's Sunday, so I'll get these run over here, and then I'm going to put verticals up here. So these are going to go up, oh, I don't know, 18 to 24 inches. And then the solar panels are going to go on top of that. The solar panels are going to actually be up above. And then I'm going to use this roof rack for storage. So I've talked about this before, but the walls for these pods are going to be 1-inch foam. So the stuff that I'm using to insulate with, the polyiso, I'm going to take 1/8-inch sheets of plywood, and I'm going to peel this paper off, and then I'm going to glue directly to this foam on both sides, sandwich it like a surfboard. It actually makes a pretty rigid structure. Probably going to put, I think I might put 1/4 inch on the outside and 1/8 inch on the inside, and I'm going to get 2-part epoxy to adhere this, and then cut them into shapes that are then going to bolt to those bolt holes. So when those bolts come out and this pod levels down, so it's laying out here, there's a set of holes up there on that 2x2, and there's a set of holes down here on the 1x6, and then the panel is going to bolt to those places to give me this side, and then there'll be one on the other side, and then there'll be one across the front that bolts to these, and then one on the top that bolts to that 2x2 up there, and to this one that runs along this way. And they'll have windows, probably a door. That's the plan. So we shall see. And I'm out of gas today. I'm beat. So there she sits. Both pods are built. Just got to decide on a latching mechanism to hold them in place while I'm traveling, and I got to build the legs out on this side. I guess I could just take measurements from the other side and build them the same. Dimensionally they're located the same vertically. As I've already said, this is already 10 inches back that way in order to get away from this door and still have some solid anchors under there to hold the pod up. And so progress. Yay. Alright guys, well, all week is good weather forecast. It's only going to get warmer. It'll be up above the 60s by late Wednesday, I think, maybe Thursday. So, yay. Look at that sky. Isn't that sky just amazing? That's just cool. Alright guys, later.